Okay, 2 minutes before the Pokemon Direct. As soon as they announce the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I can release this list full of theories that I'm going to be doing for the Gen 4 remakes. See you after.
10 minutes later. Hello everyone, Garnetto here, and today I'm going to be looking at everything you might have missed from the new trailer yesterday. There was a lot in the trailer, even though it was only about 10 seconds long, to reveal about what's going on in the new games, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so I thought I'd have a look through and see what we can find from those trailers. Now just to know, a lot of this is speculation and may be completely irrelevant. And one of those points actually is my first point. So first of all, we need to think back to when Sun and Moon released, and we had a series of trailers of Train On, which was based around a boy who was clearly supposed to represent Sun. So if we were to consider that when we look at the trailer, and start from the very beginning when we have the Puck and Deer, then we can see the premise of the trailer is for him to go to see his big brother. The thing that jumps out of note is that he says in his bag are gifts for his nephew. Those turn out to be Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now that may be nothing, but it may also be some sort of indication that the framing of the nephew is relevant. Maybe Sun's nephew or Sun's uncle. That would have a family link, but also to remember is that uncles and nephews aren't necessarily a generation apart age-wise. After all, it's possible to be aunt or uncle to an older person than you. And the new protagonist looks a year or two older than Sun. So we start off by seeing the player character in the player character from Sun and Moon's bedroom. This very much implies it being close to a third version, like Yellow or Emerald or Platinum, as opposed to being sequels like Black and White 2. It also shows off a few new costumes of the male and female character, and the models of them, and it may be irrelevant, but there is a signed picture in the background where a Pikachu used to be. Then one more relevant touch is that they now got a Switch as opposed to a Wii U, which makes logical sense as they usually have the console that is the most recent when it comes out. The next shot we get is outside in Route 1, where there are quite a few things to notice. The first one to note is that the garage door in your house is open. This is interesting because you can see a car in it, which if you think back to the Sun and Moon concept trailers, we had the concept art of a load of Pokemon in vehicles, but that never made it to the final Sun and Moon game. So it's possible we're going to see a reappearance of that in this game. The next thing to note is that there is a Wingull flying above the trainer. Now, this could mean a couple of things. It could first of all potentially mean the return of Pokemon following you. Now, one thing that I like about this is that if that is true, the Wingull wasn't following the trainer, it was flying around the trainer a lot more naturally than just plain following. However, if it isn't true, then that does potentially hint at there being more wild Pokemon just sort of flying around you, which I think would also be a nice touch. The next thing to note, which is actually probably one which most people have noted, is how colourful the route is now. It's gone from just being sort of greenery to actually having the flowers in bloom. This could mean a couple of things. It probably just means that they've redesigned it to give it a fresh look, which is fantastic. I look forward to seeing how many other places look. But it could also potentially hint at seasons coming back. They seem a bit too in bloom to me, so maybe it's summer season for all we know, and there will be the other seasons. Then we have a brief flash of the starters, which basically just confirms that we're having the same starters as beforehand, but then we end up in what appears to be a new area, which I personally dub Pika Paradise. There is a bit of a question as to whether we've seen this area before that's been repurposed into Pika Paradise, with me hearing a few things like Route 8 where there is the building works next to the Fossil Restoration Centre, or maybe it's the Berry Gardens. I think it looks a bit like Berry Gardens, but I might be wrong there. So yeah, so there is a bit of a question as to where this serves. Then we have a couple of cutscenes of specific Pokemon. The three that we get are Togedemaru, Mimikyu, and Lycanroc, who all have cutscenes. These may be totems and they may be story cutscenes. We're not quite sure exactly what services they have, but they all are quite interesting to think about. So the first one is Togedemaru, who didn't really have a big part in the Sun and Moon game itself. Sophocles in the anime does have it as his main Pokemon, so it's possible it's going to be Sophocles' new totem. Then we have the awesome Mimikyu one, which just looks epic, if I may say so. We see his eyes from the bottom, which might be reading too much into it, might be really wishful thinking here, but maybe that means we'll get a Mimikyu true form. Also, it's worth noting that Mimikyu's cutscene is outside, not in the Mega Mart, so assuming it is still a totem and we're still seeing the totem animation, the trial has changed. Then we have the very peculiar one of Lycanroc Midday Scene. If it's a new Totem Pokemon, it means that it's a completely new trial, because there was no Rock trial. Maybe Olympia's only a trial leader, and if so, who's the Kuna? That's the question sort of summoned there. Or maybe there's a brand new trial that we hadn't thought of. Or maybe Lycanroc's just part of the story. That's the thing, it's very questionable, and I can't even guess because of it having such a lack of significance. Then comes the biggie, the real excitement of the entire trailer. We have got the new Lunala and Solgaleo forms. One of the first subtle details is that the bricks seem to be laid out very similar to the Altar of the Sun and Moon, or the Lake of the Sun and Moon, which is a fair assumption. They appeared at the altar last time. Maybe they'll appear at the lake this time, so it'll have some relevance. It was kind of irrelevant in your universe last time, not counting the Cosmogears Mirror universe. And then we actually get to the reveal of what I'm going to be calling Ultra Solgaleo and Ultra Lunala. Starting off with the obvious, it looks like it's been merged with Necrozma. Assumably this will be fully explained. One thing to note though is that the last time we saw sort of Pokemon fusions was Kyurem in Black 2 and White 2. What characters were introduced in there? Colress. What character was in Sun and Moon 1? Colress. Maybe Colress is in some way linked to it. He dresses very similar to the 8th Foundation, so maybe there'll be some link there. A lot of people also said that it looks kind of similar to Lusamine when she merges with Nihilego. I can see the black colouring and also the different colour crystals and things like that, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Then the one other, and in my opinion most interesting point about this, is the symbol on their head. I think it looks very much like the Island Challenge amulet. It's got the same shape and a similar colour scheme. It is also worth noting that if you look at the Japanese logos, then we can see the symbol similar to what they've done with the orbs and the Z crystals. So it's clearly an important symbol. Next up we get the close-up shot of the Z-Ring. First thing to note is that the Z crystals are a different shape, whereas before they were one diamond, now it's 3 interconnecting diamonds. And then we see the new maneuver, which is twisting the Z crystal. Assumably twisting the Z crystal is doing something, maybe it's activating the form or something like that, I'm not sure. But it is definitely a new thing, and the new design is all black, so it does seem very relevant that this may be to do with the form change. And that's just about everything notable from the actual gameplay footage. Obviously we got the release date of November 17th, 2017, which should be very interesting. There is also a few interesting things that Junichi ends up saying. So the first part of interest is when he says an alternative story taking part in the same world. Now this is quite an interesting one because it can be taken in many different ways. The way I personally interpret it is that it's basically like the third versions of old. However, we'll have 2 third versions focusing around the legendaries, as opposed to in the old third versions we'd usually end up getting the third mascot and the 2 old ones. So yeah, so I think that is a point. There is also notable though that it might mean that it is alongside Sun and Moon. When it says same world of Sun and Moon, it might mean that all of the events of Sun and Moon happen, you're just sort of on a different story alongside it. We don't know much, and we'll find out more details with the trailer with that one, but yeah, it is quite interesting to think about what he means by that. And then there is the words which have sparked a massive debate across the fandom. New Pokemon which didn't appear in Sun and Moon. Does this mean we're going to be seeing old ones, like Kanto Pokemon that weren't appearing in it? Will we just be seeing Pokemon that we know already, or will we be seeing brand new Pokemon? It's clear we'll be getting at least 2 new forms, but what else will we be getting new Pokemon-wise? It'll be very interesting to see them announce it as the months go on. And I think that covers just about everything that there is in that. Let me know if you think I've missed something down below, and also let me know what you're most looking forward to. I am very hyped, and I am very looking forward to this new game. I will continue to bring you content, including theories and updates, so keep an eye on my channel, and I'll see you next time.